you're looking for a no-frills, sensible family car for your sensible family life, you go for a Hyundai Kona, right? Because apparently they're sensible and no frills. Until now, look at that. This is the brand new Hyundai Kona Electric, and it's gone all Daft Punk. Check out this pixel light strip on its face. But actually, behind the technologic front end and all the digital love in the interior, it's still basically a family electric car. It has better battery range than before, improved comfort and quality, and not that much less space than a Hyundai Ioniq 5, despite being almost $9,000 cheaper. But is it as good as it seems? Let's start with the looks. So, Hyundai call this a pixelated seamless horizon bar. Most people would call it a light strip, but whatever tickles your fancy. I think it's quite cool, spans the width of the car. Quite like these sharp creases that continue down the side of the car. That pixel theme continues with these rather dual-looking squares on the grille. I quite like the front, apart from this monstrosity. I get that putting the charging port there is convenient, but it looks ugly. That flap, by the way, also includes a system that stops it from freezing shut in temperatures as low as -30 degrees. I mean, it's good to know that you could have this parked outside your igloo overnight, or anywhere up north, and still be able to get it charged on a dark, frosty morning. But I do like the side view. It's very compact, 4.3 metres long, 1.8 high, 1.5 wide. If you've done your homework, you will see the Ioniq 5 influences. Nice cool creases across the side. Then let's have a look at the back. So the pixel theme continues with pixels across the light strip and across the bumper here, which is pretty impressive, but not quite as impressive as the boot itself. Which is a literally massive improvement over the last Kona's luggage space. That was 332 litres large, but this one is 466. Basically, it's gone from less than a Volkswagen Polo to more than a Ford Kuga. It's a useful opening too, including a low loading lip and a 40-20-40 split folding rear bench as standard. There's also this 27-litre frunk at the front, but that's almost completely pointless. Does anyone actually ever use these things? Because you have to open the door, lift the lever, lift the bonnet, and lift the flap. What faff? Big space improvements in the cabin as well. The game has changed. I mean, it's obviously bigger all round everywhere, but not only that, the wheelbase is longer and these front seat backs are thinner. Large shoulder space, best in class apparently, but they would say that. And there's a lot of footwell room. I mean, this has been set up for me and I'm 5'8", but there's still plenty of space. In other news, we have an armrest, cup holders, pockets on the doors, door bins, and the pièce de résistance, heated seats. That is a win-win from me. Rear bench seats do have a recline, although it is actually impossible to get to. There we go. Oh, lovely. Optional sunroof on here, there is one. Not that that massively impacts the back here, but the windows are fairly decently sized. All in all, it's really big back here and definitely does not feel claustrophobic. The driver definitely has the best seat in the house. The dashboard takes inspiration from, yes, you guessed it, the Ioniq 5, particularly with this very intuitive, very user-friendly twin screen display. And not only that, look, there's actual physical buttons from the map to the radio to your aircon and your temperature gauge. Buttons that you can actually use safely whilst you're driving. Then there's heaps of USB points, both up front and two behind, wireless phone charging and loads of storage for your stuff. The space there is configurable, so you can remove parts of it if you need to wedge something chunky in there, your laptop for instance. There's a wireless phone charger, two sizable and retractable cup holders, big door pockets, and even a shelf above the glove box. Some of the cabin plastic isn't the best to touch, like this stuff under the windows, but actually, are people really bothered about that sort of stuff anymore? It's hard wearing and
you'd never say this feels low quality.
Especially on the road. The Kona Electric has definitely been set up to provide a very high quality, calming driving experience. The ride comfort and the noise suppression is definitely a step up from the previous Kona, and you can really feel the influence of the Ioniq cars. It's soft, comfy, and slightly wallowy. Steering is finger light, but that means it just drives a lot better when you drive it gently. It all feels a lot more refined than the likes of the Jeep Avenger or the Fiat 600e or even the Peugeot 2008. And I think it's because it's not even trying to be sporty. It leans quite a lot when you fling it into the corners, but what does that matter? It's not like I'm on the Nürburgring. These brakes deserve a shout out. They are very smooth, and these paddles behind the steering wheel, they determine your brake regeneration. So if you trigger the left one a few times and you take foot off the accelerator, the car it'll stop, which is a good thing because that means you can do one pedal driving, which is always very useful. What are the seats like? Pretty comfy. Seating position is high. The pillar is pretty narrow, so visibility is good. The chassis feels a lot more composed than the previous Kona Electric. That was, of course, first designed as a petrol car and then evolved to become an electric car. So it almost felt like there was too much power going through the wheels. You'd put your foot down and it would spin off a little bit too much like a boy racer. This one is the opposite. EV first, and the petrol and hybrid versions built around that. So when you put your foot down, it all feels a lot smoother. The new chassis means it features some very clever tech, like vehicle-to-load charging, which basically means you can plug anything into it, from your e-bike to your toaster, which is pretty handy if you have a power cut and you fancy a Pop-Tart. I mean, you're only human after all. The Kona Electric comes with a heat pump which pre-warms the battery for better efficiency. You can even pre-warm the cabin using the app on your phone, which you can also use as the car key, or you can even use your Apple Watch. How convenient. And like all Hyundais, this car has some pretty cool tech. Those brakes I mentioned earlier, they have a cool feature where they'll basically do whatever the car in front does. So if the car in front decelerates, your car will decelerate. All you have to worry about is acceleration and nothing else. And the blind spot indicators is a very cool feature. So when you indicate left or right, a video actually pops up on your screen showing what's around you. It's a very cool piece of kit. I really do like the infotainment system too, because, well, I'll say it one more time, the actual buttons that you can press safely while you're driving. And not only that, but the visuals on the screen are big, so you don't spend your whole time hunting around for how much charge you've got left.
You get two battery options in the Kona Electric, a standard range model with a 48 kilowatt-hour battery and a 234-mile range rating, and a 65 kilowatt-hour long-range model with a 319-mile rating. The model with the smaller battery has 156 horsepower and the bigger version 218 horsepower. You'll pay about £3,500 more for the bigger battery and quicker motor in a basic car called Advance, but they both charge at the same rate, 102 kilowatts maximum, compared to 75 kilowatts in the last Kona. That's your all-important 20 to 80% charge in about half an hour right there.
The performance gap between the two isn't anything like what you'd expect either. It's only a second. So 0 to 62 is 7.7 seconds or 8.8. This is the faster, higher performance spec car, but honestly, I don't even think you necessarily need to go for the upper spec because the base level is also so appealing. Also, it does make quite a funky sound when you accelerate. Can you hear that? Ah, it's like a chorus of angels as you pull smoothly away.
For trim levels, Advance, N-Line, N-Line S and Ultimate, but all of them get the 12.3-inch twin-screen display with regular over-the-air software updates, plus navigation, proper smartphone connectivity, climate control and 4 USB-C ports. Safety is comprehensive too. Aside from the usual, multiple airbags, ISOFIX, adaptive cruise control, it will brake automatically if it thinks you're going to hit something, even when you're pulling out at a junction or when you're reverse parking. It'll even steer itself away from people at the roadside if it thinks you're heading towards them. N-Line spec is the sporty one and does make the Kona look a bit better inside and out. Bigger and flashier wheels, body kit, the usual stuff. It's worth a look. In a top-spec advanced car, meanwhile, you're looking at heated and ventilated front seats, a heated steering wheel, head-up display,
and a power tailgate. Not the fastest power tailgate, but powered nonetheless. But it's that sort of thinking, you know, useful, thoughtful sort of thinking, that makes the Kona Electric a cracking choice. It's comfy, techy without being overbearing, and enough battery option to give any family Voyager plenty of range. You'd be daft punk not to want one. Comment below if you worked out all the references. See ya!